I'm Dr. Uche. Welcome back. If you're watching this for the first time or if you're watching any of my videos for the first time, it's great to have you. I am Dr. Uche. I'm a publisher, I'm a biography writing coach, I'm a book reviewer, and yes, I'm also a real life physician. I love all things books. I share biography writing tips. I do children's book read alouds, and I also do book reviews. It's so great to have you here. Make sure you hit subscribe, and also if you hit the notification bell, you will know when I upload new videos. Today, I want to go over how to break up monotony in writing your biography. So people do ask me, well, yeah, I want to do this, but how do I make it interesting so that it's not boring, they say. I happen to think nobody's life story is boring, but whatever the case, how do I make my text interesting, and how do I engage the reader so they can stay interested in reading the whole thing? And that is a brilliant question. I have just 3 things to mention as suggestions. The first is you can include dialogue. So if you're writing your autobiography, chances are you're writing in the first person. I did this, I did that, I was born here. But then as you write things and look at pictures and remember particular events, you might remember some dialogue. You might remember my mother said this. I walked into the kitchen to talk to her. I remember it was raining outside that day and she was cooking. And she turned and I said, Mom, somebody said something at school. And she looked at me and answered, I'm just giving an example. So you can include dialogue in that manner, and dialogue can break up just a lot of text, paragraph after paragraph, okay? That's the first thing. Second thing, you can include world events, okay? So I remember being 5 years old, or no, I think I was 7, and there'd been a coup d'etat in Nigeria. My family lived in the north of Nigeria in a city called Zaria, and I remember they told us to keep quiet because somebody took over power. Or you can remember there was a solar eclipse, or you can remember there was an Olympic it was some Olympic game somewhere. So you can include world events, and that can also make for very interesting reading that can help to break up monotony in writing your biography. The third thing is you can actually describe people in detail, people, places, events, and give your opinion of them. I remember reading A Long Walk to Freedom, which is Nelson Mandela's autobiography, and I was struck by how he described people. So somebody gave him a ride. He was trying to get from city to city, and he ended up needing a ride. He was at the side of the road trying to flag down a car that seemed reasonable for him to ask the person to drive him, something like that. And he ended up riding with somebody, this guy born in the Cape or born somewhere and born to this man and this woman. His father was a teacher. You know, he would describe people in detail. When he met Walter Sisulu, he said Walter was born to this gentleman in this part of South Africa, and stuff like that. I remember reading Becoming, the autobiography of the former First Lady Michelle Obama. I remember how she described relatives. You know, this uncle was born here. He was this sort of person. He really wanted to do this, but he didn't have a chance. So in adulthood, he ended up being a bit sour, a bit disappointed. So things like that. I'm just giving some random examples. You really can go into detail in describing people, your first impression, aspect of their life, where they were born, how are they related to you. This gentleman happened to be my uncle on my mother's side, and so on and so forth. Okay, so those are 3 easy ways to break up monotony, to make your writing not be just a lot of text from paragraph to paragraph. And again, I will recap. The first is you can insert dialogue. Okay, remember things that happened, remember the back and forth discussion you had with someone. It doesn't have to be exact, right? Like how many of us remember things 10, 15 years later, but you can remember some of it and put it in the best way possible according to what you can remember. So that's one, inserting dialogue. The second is including interesting world events that happen at certain times. It could be at a world level, it could be at a national level, it could be at a city level. My city was celebrating its 100th year, that kind of thing. So you can include that. And the third is you can describe people, places, events in detail, give your impression of them, your opinion of certain things that happened, people's background, and so on and so forth. And that definitely adds a lot more to your biography. I like to say that everybody's life story consists of bits and pieces from a lot of other people, okay? We all are a product of the people we descended from. So I am not likely gonna give a good story of my first 40 years, for example, without writing a good deal about my father, about my mother, about an aunt, about a grandmother who was an important aspect of my life. So that is very much part of your life story and can be included and does add a little variety to your writing, and in that manner you can make it a lot more interesting. I hope that was helpful. If that was, please share freely. Again, Dr. Uche, I look forward to coming back here to discuss yet another biography writing tip or a book review or a children's book read aloud. Till then, take care. Remember to subscribe. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.